Hi, my name is Kenneth Hauge. I'm working here at Innova with Matrix. We are going to introduce the Matrix MK2 Plus to you and some of the functionalities and how to use it. We can start with what the Pelicase contains. It contains every bits and piece you need in order to make system up and running. First, we got the Subsea unit, which is the canister to mount an ROV. Then we got the Topside, which controls all the functions on the system. And this Pelicase contains all the bits and pieces you need to mount this together. You got the pigtail to be used for power. It's to be connected to your to a cable at your end. It contains the fiber optic connection from the bulkhead on your system to the canister, to the Subsea canister. It has the additional bulkhead to be mounted into your system. This is made for oil-filled canisters as well as dry canister. And it has all the dummies for the additional connectors that you don't use when you connect the system. We got a memory stick with software to upgrade the Topside and the manual, and Ethernet cable and power cable to the Topside, in addition to the manual for the system.
Hello, my name is Ådne Oftedal and I work here at Innova. So here you have the Matrix MK2 Plus Subsea, which has a depth rating of 3,000 meters. So let's have a look on the connectors. So here you have the connectors. From C1 to C3, addition to C9 are Ethernet connectors. And from C4 to C6, you have HD SDI connectors. From C10 to C14, addition to C7 and C8, it is serial communication connectors. And here you have the power connector, and here you have the fiber connector. And here you have two anodes on each side, and if they are corroded, it is very important to replace those.
For this chapter, we're going to take a look at the backside of the Matrix Topside and see what different connectors do on the backside. On the backside of the Matrix Topside, you get the input for the input power. That's for 90 to 260 volt in. You got the config port where you can connect your computer and control all the different functions. You get the fiber optic input. There are two serial cards inside. Each port is marked on the side of the port. There is an optional analog video input that's not in use on a standard version, but it can be configured. This is the Ethernet input. You got 3 Ethernet inputs, whereas C1 is for the only CN1 port. The C2 is for the C2 port only, and the C3 is for both the C3 ports on C3, and in addition the C9 is also connected to this one. In order to reach all the ports, you need a switch or a computer for reaching all the ports. This is for the HD camera input. There are 3 HD channels and an additional spare. Each serial port and each Ethernet port has activity LEDs, which are on the side here and on the side here.
Hi, I'm Sebastian, an apprentice at Innova, and now we're going to look at the Fibre Hose. The Fibre Hose connects the subsea to the topside, and there's a few things you need to check before you connect it. And the first thing you need to check is inside the connector. The things you need to look at is if there's any debris inside the connector or if the O-ring is displaced. The same you also need to do with the fibre adapter to the topside, the bulkhead. Another thing that can be good to check is that inside the Fibre Hose there is oil. And if you can see any significant air bubbles, that means there is a sign of leakage. And there's a problem with that, so you need to send it back for a replacement or for a repair.
Hello, my name is Tor at Innova. I'm now going to show you the dummy case for the system. This contains all the dummies that you need to put in on the channels that you're not using. These are for the subcon connectors. And here we have 3 for C1, 2 and 3. And also you have for the power. Then you have the HD dummies. You have to take a look that the O-ring is seated properly in the bottom here. And now we're going to show how to connect fiber and power to the system. Now let's power up the system. First you have to connect the topside main switch here. Then you have to power up the subsea. Hand tighten the connector. Then it's the fiber. And then the bulkhead. And then fiber number 1. When we test it, we use an attenuator on 15 dB. If you don't have the attenuator, you can push this all the way in and then pull it slightly out again, just to make an air gap that is approximately 15 dB. But now we are using the attenuator. Then it's the last thing to check, and that is the air vent plug. Be sure that that's fitted and tightened. And then it should be ready to power up.
Hello, my name is Al Sayed Tarara and I am a service engineer, and I have been also working with the Matrix for the last 5 years, and today I will be just showing you the three main menus on the touch screen. The first one is the control, which is control all the channels. When we say control the channels, switching on and off each channel, that means we are sending a command to switch each channel or connector on and off, and this is how we do it. We just switch. This should turn green on, and here it shows the voltage, and this is a 24 volt channel, and on the right side here is the milliamps. That means how much is consuming power. And the second page, or the second menu, is the loss or the link between the two systems, the topside and the subsea. Here in the middle it shows the topside and the subsea. This is here on the top here is the topside, and here is the subsea. And if we just want to see the topside, we just click on this square, and here it shows you the TX 1.9 dpm. And if we click here on the bottom, it shows the subsea, and here is 2.6 dpm. The third menu is the status, and here in this status it shows you the firmware version, the canister temperature, the topside temperature, the signal loss for the whole system from the subsea to the topside in dBm, the humidity inside the canister, the water alarm has to show clear all the time, and the ground fault, the accepted value is infinite. Anything other than infinite, that means there is a ground fault and you should check and look for errors or problems in the system. Let's talk about the power status and power consumption on all the channels. We have a total of 14 channels, and C1, C2, those two channels have a 24 volts DC and 48 volts DC, and the load limit on those are 6 amps. The maximum load limit is 6 amps. But if we go to C3, C3 has only 24 volts, and if you want a 48 volts, you have to add a 48 volts power supply into the system. And the maximum load on the C3 also is 6 amps for the 24 volts, and the 48 optional one has only 3 amps load. If we go to C4 all the way to C11, those are 24 volts channels.
What I'm going to show you is the pre-dive check of the matrix. It's all mentioned in the manual. First thing is to clean it with fresh water, check for corrosion and damage of the surface of the canister, and also I'm going to show you in details what you do in the front. Now we have to check the cables for damage or scratches, also the zinc anodes for pitting or corrosion, hand tighten all connectors so they sit firmly, and then we should be ready for the next dive.